Welcome, everybody, to a special spring edition of Valpo Football Weekly presented by Lakeshore Bone and Joint Institute. Brandon Vickery with you. Glad to be joined by the head coach of the Valpo football program, Landon Fox, as we talk about the spring game that took place on Sunday and wrapping up the spring season. And, Coach, I know that we touched on before the game the fact that there are three components to the spring game for you. The final component of the game itself we'll touch on in a few minutes, but let's start with the other two components. What was it like to have a junior day and so many prospective student athletes here? What was it like to have your incoming freshmen here to be a part of that day?
Yeah, really exciting from a multitude of reasons. Number one, we were able to, have a large number of 2025 juniors get an opportunity to come to campus and talk to them about the university and academics that we have here, and then the football program as well. But when you have a larger number of prospects like that's the first kind of introduction to us in the relationship building process, which is ultimately the most important. But then you get them to be out there and part of the game. And when we walked out there on Sunday, I mean, it felt like a game. And so when I walked out to the brown field and saw the crowd, you got pretty excited, man. This feels like a fall. And so I know it was fun for me. So I obviously was very exciting for our current players. So it was also a great opportunity to invite back our 2024, our incoming freshman class. We had a majority of those guys here and spent, the weekend with us. And again, that gives them that opportunity to again, build that relationship. Sure, we've already started, we're down the path, but we want to continue to build with those guys and for them to get a better insight on exactly, hey, this is the program, this is my position, this is the depth. And so they get to see it. And so exciting time for them and that for their parents to be around all of our current parents. It's about people.
Let's talk about the game itself. The defense held the upper hand. What were some of the things that impressed you about the way you played on the defensive side of the ball?
Yeah, they were playing fast, and that's what you want. Fast. I thought pretty physical for the most part. The big takeaway was just that, takeaways, and they were able to turn the ball over. When offensively at times we're able to move the field, and they were able to create some turnovers, which were really the difference in the game.
Let's touch more on the offense. What were some positives or bright spots? What are some things you want to work on improving on that side of the ball?
The improvement piece of the consistency. Like I said, we had some times where we moved the football, and then we had created a negative yard play, where we missed a block or we get behind the chains on a penalty. And offensive football is hard enough, to consistently move it for 10, 12, 14 plays. That's hard. And if you're going to get behind the sticks, it's going to make it even more challenging. And so that's where we have to improve is our consistency and our depth. That's one area that we were really focused on. And we did that in the game. There was some guys that our fifth-year seniors like Carter Woody and Tyler Eberhardt who didn't play. I mean, they maybe played a maximum of 5 to 8 plays. And so you're trying to create that depth that you're going to need in the fall.
Everyone's asking about the quarterback position. Can you take us through maybe each candidate for the job and what each of them bring to the table?
Man, how exciting it is for the Valpo football program, where you have, to me, 3 really, really talented individuals playing the quarterback position. And so with that competition, to me, is going to bring out the best in those individuals. And, Mike Yavel's a guy who's played a lot of football here. And so people have seen him out on the field and be very productive. And for me, he continues to be him, which is consistent. He may have not had his best day on Sunday. I know he didn't. He knows he didn't. But for 14 of those practices, he was very consistent in his approach. And then Rowan Keefe comes in last year and plays very well. As a guy that probably didn't know how much he would play going into the year. And so again, he had a really good spring. And for him, Rowan has the ability to make plays, and you saw some of that in the spring game where be able to move the ball and has been able to put the ball in the end zone in some of our spring scrimmages that we've had throughout. And then Karan, Tyler, very good athlete, can extend plays with his feet. You saw that on Sunday. He made some guys miss. We allow him to, the whistle goes a little bit longer because his ability to extend plays, you don't want to keep them from showing that ability when, you're trying to protect those guys at times, your quarterback position getting hit. So, he's a true dual threat guy. I mean, he can throw it and he can run it. Again, where it's a little bit disappointing. I think people would say, "Hey, man, I don't know how good your quarterbacks were on Sunday." I tend to agree. I don't know if they're great, but they had a good spring, and it's a really good position group. And I'm excited to see them in the fall.
Excited to see the entire team as you move toward that fall season. But let's talk about what the next chapter, the next segment of time is for you as coaches and for the players here as we move into summer. What happens next now that spring is wrapped
For our
up?
players, we'll get another week with them in the weight room, which will be nice. And then they'll start to get into some voluntary stuff because of just how the rules work. And then I think the emphasis is for them to finish strong with their finals. They have finals coming up, and we take that very serious. And as you've written about, 64 members of the Pioneer Football League tied, school record for that. So that's important to us, and we want to be really, finish strong and be obviously very good in the classroom. So that's what our guys are doing. We'll hit the road recruiting here in April and May as coaches, and so continuing that 2025s. And then we'll have our guys come back at the end of May. So at the end of May, our guys will come back and start their summer workouts. And the really cool thing for us is the NCAA about 2 years ago allowed us to have summer access with them. So not only are they getting time in the weight room and running and lifting, but they're also getting some practice time with us as coaches, which is really fun for us, because you can continue to build from the spring and then into the fall.
There he is, the head coach of the Valpo football program, Landon Fox. The start of the season, August 31st. He'll be here before you know it. For all the latest in Valpo Athletics, you can always visit valpoathletics.com. Talk to you again next time on Valpo Athletics Weekly, presented by Lakeshore Bone and Joint Institute.